The Nightly Business Report.
Good evening. Tonight, Sri Lanka is likely to meet its 450 billion rupee tax revenue target for motor vehicle imports by the end of the year. Sri Lanka's Employees Provident Fund has paid 10% in interest and dividend to members in 2024. As the trading week comes to a close, the Colombo bourses locked steady gains. Both the ASPI and S&P SL20 end in the green. And all three major US stock indexes advanced in a broad rally which placed them on track for weekly gains.
From Studio 24, here's Anuradhi Vikramasinghe.
A very good evening and thank you for joining us. According to Finance Ministry data, Sri Lanka is likely to meet its 450 billion rupee tax revenue target from motor vehicle imports by the end of the year based on the volumes imported and the tax collected.
Meeting with the Committee on Public Finance, Finance Ministry officials stated that Sri Lanka has opened $596 million worth of letters of credit for motor vehicle imports as of the end of May. Sri Lanka has imposed a $1 billion limit on annual motor vehicle imports in 2025 to balance the foreign exchange outflow and reserve building needed to repay its restructured debt. Out of the LC values, motor vehicles worth $272 million have been imported by the end of May, from which customs have collected 139 billion rupees as taxes. Finance Ministry officials revealed that 160 billion rupees in tax revenue is expected from the remaining $354 million worth of motor vehicles in the pipeline from the LCs opened by the end of May. Data suggests that for every US dollar spent on importing motor vehicles, $1.7 is collected as tax revenue by the government.
Sri Lanka's Employees Provident Fund, a retirement fund for private sector and some state enterprise workers, has paid 10% in interest and dividend to members in 2024. The same nominal return was paid in 2023, but the 10% in 2024 indicates a higher return than normal, with the central bank missing its 5% target to increase the cost of living in 2024 and maintaining monetary stability, with the inflation index falling by 1.7% compared to 4% increases in 2023. The Employees Provident Fund, managed by the central bank, paid a higher return of 11% to members in 2024. In 2024, the EPF earned 65,988 million rupees in income, mainly from interest on government securities, slightly lower than 67,793 million in 2023. With 2,811 rupees of expenses from 2,834 million a year earlier, the ETF made a pre-tax profit of 63,177 billion rupees. Interest of 3% was paid on member balance, taking up 15,391 million rupees, and 35,911 was paid as dividends, taking the total return to 10%. China's SF Airlines has launched direct flights from Kunming to Colombo to operate a scheduled all-cargo carrier to Colombo, aiming at providing robust logistic support for China-Sri Lanka trade, regional economic growth and the Belt and Road Initiative.
The first SF flight reached Sri Lanka's Bandaranaike International Airport, marking the official launch of the Kunming-Colombo International Cargo Route in a new milestone in SF Airlines' expansion into the South Asian market. Kunming is the modern capital city and transportation hub of China's southern Yunnan province. The Kunming-Colombo route will operate twice weekly, operated by B757-200 air freighters with a weekly cargo capacity exceeding 110 metric tons. The airline said primary exports include electronics, machinery parts, textiles, cross-border e-commerce parcels and fresh flowers. Key imports include Sri Lankan Ceylon tea, spices and other specialty agricultural products, along with Indian electronics and Maldivian seafood transshipped via Colombo. Harsha Abe Vikrama, chairman of Airport and Aviation Services, said this new service strengthens their partnership and will play a vital role in advancing Sri Lanka's air cargo industry and regional connectivity.
To commemorate the United Nations Micro, Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises Day today, the Institute of Certified Management Accountants of Sri Lanka hosted the MSME Business Development Summit 2025 and the MSME Business Excellence Awards 2025 at the Lotus Hall, Bandaranaike Memorial International Conference Hall. The day's events began with the summit's inaugural session from 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. featuring Central Bank Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe as a chief guest, addressing the theme Businesses for MSMEs, Connecting the Entrepreneurs. The award ceremony was graced by Asian Development Bank Country Director Takafumi Kadono as a chief guest. The events brought together MSME clients and staff from commercial banks and finance companies, with strong participation anticipated from shareholder institutions of the newly launched National Credit Guarantee guarantee institution. Technical sessions focus on key issues relevant to MSME development and financial sector engagement as well. Let's take a short break now. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. The Colombo Stock Exchange ended the week with steady gains as both the ASPI and S&P SL 20 indexes closed the trading day in the green. The gains put turnover at past 5 billion with a share volume of over 200,000. For further insights, we speak with Manusha Kandanarachi from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Anuradhi. Continuing from the positive momentum from the previous day, the Colombo stock market reached a new all-time high, surpassing yesterday's record amidst easing global tensions. The market opened on a bullish note with some profit-taking observed during the early hours of trading as well. However, the index gradually recovered and closed at 17,878, marking a gain of 138 points as well. CT Holdings, John Kills Holdings, Sampath Bank, HNB Bank and CDB were among the top positive contributors to the index. Retail and high net worth investor participation remained strong throughout the session. Turnover for the day stood at 5.1 billion rupees, elevated yet approximately 6% lower than the monthly average of 5.4 billion rupees as well. The capital goods sector was the top contributors to today's turnover, accounting for a share of 24%. This was followed by the diversified financials and material sectors, which produced a joint contribution of around 29%. Additionally, top three gainers of the day were Nation Lanka Finance, Industrial Asphalt and UB Finance.
The Colombo Stock Exchange ends the week with mostly positive sentiments, with the ASPI reaching record numbers. The indexes are expected to hold steady for the coming week as well. For further insights on how the market performed this week, we speak with Shahana Kanagaratnam from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Anuradhi. The Colombo Stock Exchange began the week on a cautious footing, weighed down by heightened geopolitical tensions in the Middle East. However, market sentiment shifted considerably on Tuesday following the announcement of a ceasefire agreement between Iran and Israel. This development acted as a key catalyst for a broad-based recovery, with positive momentum sustaining throughout the remainder of the week, despite intermittent intraday volatility driven by profit-taking. Investor confidence improved notably, supported by increased participation from both retail investors and high-net-worth individuals. Market activity intensified post-ceasefire, with daily turnover exceeding Rs 5 billion on 3 separate occasions during the week. The ASPI responded strongly to the improved sentiment, reaching record highs on 2 consecutive trading days. Sector-wise, trading was led by capital goods, diversified financials and banking. In summary, despite a tentative start, the market closed the week on a strong note at 17,873 points, reflecting the resilience of investor sentiment amid easing geopolitical risks. Thank you.
Gold prices slipped into a near 4-week low in Asian trade as a stable Israel-Iran ceasefire weakened safe haven demand, while investors awaited the Fed's preferred inflation gauge for clues on future interest rates. Spot gold declined 1% to $3,293.79 an ounce, the lowest since the 2nd of June. Gold futures for August dropped 1.2% to $3,306.70. Bullion was on track to shed over 2% this week, marking its second consecutive weekly loss. It has fallen nearly 6% from its record high level touched in late April. Platinum futures meanwhile dropped 1.3% an ounce, pulling back from more than a decade's high. Silver futures fell 0.6% to $36.375 per ounce. Oil prices were on track for a weekly decline despite a slight upward movement in Asia trading hours as the ceasefire in the Middle East continued to outweigh a positive demand outlook. Benchmark Brent crude prices rose 0.6% at $67.11 per barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude prices gained 0.6% at $65.65 per barrel. On a weekly basis, both contracts were on course to fall 12% this week. Data from the U.S. Energy Information Administration showed that domestic crude oil stocks, excluding the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, fell by 5.8 million barrels to 415.1 million barrels, marking a fifth consecutive weekly decline. The country's refinery capacity rose by 1.5% to 94.7%. The Sri Lankan rupee remained steady against the US dollar at commercial banks in Sri Lanka today. The buying rate of the US dollar remained unchanged along with the selling rate. With that, let's take a closer look at how the Sri Lankan rupee is performing today against other major global currencies. A short break now. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back. The Ceylon Chamber of Commerce elected Krishan Balendra as its new chairperson at the 186th Annual General Meeting held yesterday. Balendra, who is the chairperson of John Keells Holdings, succeeds Ernst & Young Sri Lanka country managing partner and senior economic advisor to the president, Duminda Hulangamua. Balendra's deceased father, Ken, also served as chairman of the Ceylon Chamber previously. It is the first time in the Ceylon Chamber's 186-year history where both father and son assumed the position of chairmanship. In his remarks, Balendra thanked Hulangamua for his steady leadership and service over the past 2 years, noting that his steady guidance helped the private sector navigate crisis conditions and laid the groundwork for recovery. Melco Resorts and Entertainment will begin operations of its City of Dreams Casino and Noah branded hotel in Colombo in August. This is according to a joint statement with Sri Lanka's John Keells Hotels.
Lawrence Ho, chairman and CEO of Melco Resorts and Entertainment, said in the statement they believe Sri Lanka has immense potential and said this opportunity complements our existing portfolio of properties. City of Dreams Sri Lanka is expected to serve as a catalyst for stimulating tourism demand and promoting economic growth in Sri Lanka, drawing inspiration for the successful examples set by similar integrated resorts in other jurisdictions. The $1.2 billion integrated resort already has a 687-room Cinnamon Life Hotel in operation. The Noah Hotel will add another 113 rooms. JKH chairman Krishan Balendra said the opening of the casino and Noah Hotel, operated by Melco, marks the realization of a key pillar of City of Dreams Sri Lanka, bringing to fruition the integrated development that was envisioned over a decade ago. This milestone sets a new benchmark in South Asia for world-class lifestyle, entertainment and retail offerings. In addition to the casino and entertainment zone, the integrated resort, launched as the first in South Asia, will have MICE facilities designated to host global business events and conventions.
Lanka IOC PLC launched its latest innovation, Serva Futura NXT, at a glittering ceremony held in Colombo. The event was graced by High Commissioner of India to Sri Lanka Santosh Jha, along with Lanka IOC Chairman V. Satish Kumar and Lanka IOC Managing Director Deepak Das, who jointly unveiled the cutting-edge product. Engineered with advanced synthetic technology, Servo Futura NXT represents a new generation of high-performing petrol engine oils, tailored to meet the evolving needs of both petrol and hybrid engines. This latest offering from Lanka IOC's renowned Servo brand underscores the company's commitment to innovation, performance and long-term engine care. Designed for the modern motorist, Servo Futura NXT delivers a host of benefits that enhance engine efficiency and durability, maximize fuel economy, enhanced wear protection, superior engine cleanliness, advanced LSPI protection and extended drain intervals. For the first time in Sri Lanka's marine tourism industry, Maldives Holiday Collections Private Limited, a leading liveaboard operator in the Maldives, partnered with Sail Lanka Charter Private Limited to launch the country's first dedicated diving liveaboard tourism experience.
This revolutionary collaboration brings together two regional leaders with a shared vision to elevate Sri Lanka as a premium destination for marine tourism. The new lifeboat offering will feature curated dive cruises, cultural explorations, and marine adventures along Sri Lanka's spectacular coastline by unlocking a new frontier in experiential travel. Sri Lanka is considered our second home, said Chaushin Shafiq, Managing Director of Maldives Holiday Collections. Our connection with this beautiful country runs deep. We're excited to contribute meaningfully to the local tourism landscape and share Sri Lanka's marine wonders with the world. The partnership is designed to blend international standards with local authenticity. Maldives Holiday Collections bring extensive experience from operating premium liveboards across the Maldives and Indonesia, while Sail Lanka offers long-standing local expertise and maritime infrastructure.
Singer Sri Lanka PLC is transforming the smartphone landscape with the launch of the Honor 400 and the Honor 400 Pro, marking a significant step forward in artificial intelligence-powered smartphone technology.
The newly unveiled devices offer groundbreaking AI capabilities that elevate creativity, photography, and everyday usability, delivering a more intelligent and seamless user experience. The Honor 400 series redefines smartphone capabilities with innovative AI features designed to elevate the user experience. One of the standout features of the device, AI image to video, automatically transforms static photos into dynamic, stylized videos, making memories more immersive. Its AI enhancement significantly improves image quality, ensuring stunning photos every time. The AI portrait engine delivers studio-quality selfies perfect for users who prioritize high-resolution personal photography. Additionally, the AI cutout feature enables users to isolate subjects effortlessly from images, enhancing creativity and ease of editing. Both smartphones are built with flagship-tier hardware, including 200MP main cameras, stunning AMOLED displays, and large batteries with fast charging. The Honor 400 features a 6.55-screen Snapdragon 7 Gen 3 chipset and a dual rear camera set up with IP65 durability. The 400 Pro steps it up with a 6.7 display, Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip, triple rear camera system with a telephoto lens, and OIS IP68 and IP69 protection, and support for 100 watts wired and 50 watts wireless charging. The newly launched Honor 400 series will be available for purchase at Singer showrooms and authorized dealers online.
Let's take a short commercial break. Global business updates coming on the other side. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Asian stocks advance with Japan leading gains as a rally in US tech shares lifted sentiment while investors weighed Tokyo's cooling inflation, which clouded the outlook for further Bank of Japan rate hikes. Japan's Nikkei 225 index jumped 1.6% to its highest level since late January, boosted by tech stocks. The broader Topix index also climbed 1.2%. China's Shanghai Composite Index was largely unchanged, while the Shanghai Shenzhen CSI 300 edged 0.1% higher. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index rose 0.4%. Australia's S&P ASX 200 traded marginally higher but hovered near record highs. The Philippines PSEI Composite Index gained 0.7%, while Singapore's Straits Times Index rose 0.6%. Futures tied to India's Nifty 50 inched 0.2% higher. Bucking the regional trend, South Korea's Kospi declined 0.8% due to continued profit-taking after stellar gains earlier this month. All three major U.S. stock indexes advanced in a broad rally, which placed them on track for weekly gains.
Wall Street closed higher on Thursday, with the Dow, S&P 500, and NASDAQ all adding just under 1%. The S&P and the NASDAQ are now within striking distance of all-time closing highs. Meanwhile, the U.S. dollar dropped against major currencies and Treasury yields edged lower. Among individual movers, shares of Micron Technology dropped 1%, despite the company forecasting better than expected fourth-quarter revenue. Miners Freeport McMoran and Southern Copper jumped by nearly 7 and 8% respectively, thanks to copper prices touching a 3-month high. And shares of Nike gained more than 5% in extended trading after the company reported a smaller than expected drop in quarterly revenue and beat profit estimates.
Nike said it'll reduce its dependence on Chinese manufacturing for the U.S. market to offset the impact of U.S. tariffs. The company also projected a smaller than expected drop in first quarter revenue, sending shares up.
Nike missed one goal this week. It tried to help Kenyan runner Faith Kipyegon become the first woman to run a sub-4-minute mile. In the end, she fell just short, but still set an unofficial new record. Off the track, the sportswear giant has a very different race to run. It's trying to beat the impact of Donald Trump's sweeping global tariffs. On Thursday, the company said it would reduce its reliance on China for manufacturing goods it sells in the US as part of the strategy. China currently accounts for about 16% of the shoes it imports to the United States, and Nike aims to cut that to the high single digits range by the end of May next year. Investors welcomed the news, sending Nike shares soaring 11% in after-hours trade. Also helping sentiment were forecast-beating results for the latest period. Fourth quarter sales sank 12%, but analysts had expected even worse. China is the pain point there too, with executives saying a turnaround in the country will take time amid a weak economy and mounting competition. The company is now a bit more optimistic than analysts about the coming period, however. It predicts sales will see a percentage fall in the mid-single digits, or less than Wall Street has forecast. Analysts say running shoes are doing well for Nike, making up for expected declines in the sales of regular sneakers.
And that wraps up today's Nightly Business Report. We value your opinion as always, so please share your thoughts and feedback with us through email at feedback.ad24english@derana.lk or via WhatsApp at 076-805-7933. We'll see you again on Monday with the latest updates across the business globe. Until then, I'm Anuradhi Vikramasinghe. Thank you very much for watching and have a great weekend.